Hey there, welcome back to Seahawks Central News. I'm Isabella Pleasance.
And I'm Abby Winstead. This week we'll investigate the controversial suspension of an NC State professor and the Independence Mall construction.
We'll also discuss the Up&Up Festival, and we have an inside look onto the Halloween kill set, so sit down and stay tuned.
Because Seahawks Central News starts right now.
On the first of the month, NC State physics professor E. David Davis said some questionable things in a lecture that ultimately led to his suspension. Allegedly, he said things like, "The women in this class are useless. Let me call on a man," as well as, "Were you dropped on your head as a child?" Later on, classmates stood up and expressed that women are not useless and he should not say those things. He expressed he was joking and said if women were useless, we wouldn't exist as a species. Many reports were filed against the professor immediately, and later that day, many female students took to Twitter to express their anger and frustration, which spread Davis's words like wildfire. This resulted in the incident being reported on many news outlets. We sat down with Kaylina Ortero, a student from that class, to get her take on the conflict. She said that she never thought she would experience something like this at NC State.
It may have been a joke to him, but he has to realize that, like, as a teacher, that has an impact on, like, his students. It's, like, discouraging as, like, a woman who's, like, trying to get into STEM, to have someone who's you're supposed to be able to look up to and supposed to be able to, like, go to for, like, recommendations or, like, even if you're, like, trying to get into that field further, knowing that he, like, somehow, like, feels that way about women, even if it was a joke, like, I feel like deep down you have to believe it just a little bit in order to have said that in front of 200 people. And if you look around the classroom, there's like half the class is women, so obviously we aren't useless because there are like 98 other women in there who could have answered. It just did not feel nice at all, and it's not okay because it could, like, further create an environment where people do think it's okay to say stuff like that.
Later on in the week, the deans at NC State came to the class and apologized, saying this is not something they stand for. They offered resources from the Biased Impact Response Team for those who had been negatively infected by the professor. They also told the class that Davis will no longer be teaching any classes at NC State, and they are investigating the incident to see if further action needs to take place.
You may have heard the buzz surrounding the filming of a big movie in downtown Wilmington. Halloween Kills is the second movie in the rebooted Halloween trilogy starring Jamie Lee Curtis as she fends off the infamous Michael Myers. Courtesy of Matt Brown as Star News, we have photos of some of the sets that will most likely be featured in the movie. This project began shooting mid-September and has shot scenes at Cape Fear Community College as well as other places in downtown Wilmington. These photos they have recreated at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital from the previous classic films. Zoe Coleman is in the studio with information about SGA's latest project.
Thanks, Abby. For this month's Day of Service, the UNCW Student Government Association decided to re-beautify the Herbert Blumenthal Memorial Wildflower Preserve on campus. Almost 45 years after the original dedication, this area serves as a space for scientific research and other cultural studies for UNCW students. From 2 to 4 on October 1st, SGA took time to give back to this beautiful space by planting and sprucing up the 10-acre lot in hopes to keep this area as aesthetically pleasing as the day it was dedicated. Be sure to keep a lookout for next month's Day of Service so you can give back to the campus we love.
Thanks, Zoe. Wednesday, October 9th wasn't only the start of UNCW's fall break, but it was also the night of the iconic Up&Up Music Festival. UNCW students won a competition to have the festival here in Wilmington for a second year in a row. Popular DJ Elefante, among other artists like the local Rebels and No Savage, were featured. The festival had an amazing turnout of students and friends, everyone having a great time dancing and listening to music. Don't worry if you missed this fall's festival, because Up&Up will be hosting another one this upcoming spring that we will have the opportunity to bring back to Wilmington. So follow Up&Up UNCW on Instagram to stay up to date on information.
If you've passed by Independence Mall recently, you may have noticed demolition crews and mountains of debris around the former Sears wing of the shopping complex. The mall has been slated for renovations for several months as part of an effort to rebrand. According to mall officials, and the construction has finally begun. The mall plans to first demolish most of the former Sears and replace it with new stores such as a Dick's Sporting Goods, Ulta, and Five Below, as well as new restaurants and a grocery store. According to construction blueprints, most of the new additions will have outside entrances as opposed to entrances that open into the interior of the mall. New indoor and outdoor green spaces are also being added. Well, that's all for us this week. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe to UNCW TealTV on your favorite social media platform. If you have any other story suggestions or just want to talk about the show today, leave us a comment. With Seahawks Central News, I'm Isabella Pleasance.
And I'm Abby Winstead. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.